So welcome to the holiday season of 2024, where now here in the United States, we are getting reports of a holiday attack. Yeah, in certain cities, there could be a potential terrorist-like attack in the US. Now, I'm going to break down what's going on, but I want to show you something. Look at this right here. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security leaders will not testify publicly about national security threats before the Senate. Yeah, that is a serious problem because they have not done this in over 15 years. So, experts believe that there is a serious threat that they don't want the American people to know about. Now, I'll explain what's going on in just a moment, what we are now facing, because again, there are global threats around the world, but it seems like the United States is in the middle of every single one. So I'll break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. Okay, so this is becoming more and more serious with every passing day. Now that the FBI and DHS leaders will not testify publicly about national security threats, that is a huge problem. Now, we're going to get to the article on this in just a moment, explain what they are saying and why this is such troubling news. But look at this. This article from Politico says World War III has officially begun. Ukraine's ex-top general says the former commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian army has a grim outlook on the state of the war. One of the reasons why is because it's looking like Russia is about to attack Poland. And specifically, they want to attack a defensive, pretty much a defensive missile, city that really they're not there for to attack other countries. But the U.S. has a base in Poland, which Poland is a NATO ally. The U.S. has a base that in this base, pretty much their sole purpose is just to shoot down missiles if Russia or potentially China or another country were to launch them. That's all they're there for. So Russia is planning, based off what experts are saying, to attack Poland, which again is a NATO ally. And like President Biden has said, and many other NATO countries or world leaders have said as well, is that an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all NATO members, including the United States. Now, I want to read a little bit of this article to you, okay? The reason why is because what they say right here is important. We need to know why they will not testify. Look at this right here. It says the leaders of the FBI and Department of Homeland Security declined to testify publicly at a scheduled Senate committee hearing Thursday on global threats to national security, a break from standard protocol of open testimony before the panel. I've watched several of these. I watch a lot of the different committee hearings. They are boring, but we learn a great deal from them. And this one that's going to talk about global threats to national security, this would have been a very important thing to hear at this time. But let me read this to you. It says their choice to not provide public testimony about their department's efforts to address wide-ranging national security threats robs the American people of critical information and the opportunity for public accountability of what the federal government is doing to keep Americans safe. Now, even though they will not publicly testify, we are still going to get some of the reports. They will leak. People are going to provide the media with certain bits of information. But they're going to do it with, they don't want to be publicly identified. And we get that. Now, look at this right here. It says the Michigan Democrat said it was the first time in more than 15 years that the FBI director and Homeland Security secretary had together refused to offer public testimony at the annual committee hearing, focused on threats to the homeland, calling it a shocking departure from tradition. Now, here's the next one. Look at this right here. It says a separate hearing scheduled for Wednesday before the House Homeland Security Committee was also postponed. And a lot of people believe the reason why all these things are being postponed or they don't want to talk about it is because there is a very real threat that is affecting every single one of us here on U.S. soil, plus abroad at U.S. embassies and U.S. citizens in other countries. Now, here's what I want to show you. Look at this right here. It says Illinois terrorism experts warn extremists may target public holiday celebrations. Now, this is mainly for the Chicago, Illinois area, but I want to be very clear on this. This is a problem for every single city. Every single major city in the United States right now faces the exact same threat, that there are extremists out there that may target these certain gatherings, whether it's a church, a holiday party, it could be a work party, okay? It could be a lighting festival. It could be a mall shopping center, Black Friday, okay? This is the concern, that there are so many issues around the world that we, here on U.S. soil, should still be concerned about what is coming. Now, I want to show you this as well. It says NATO and Ukraine are planning to hold emergency talks after Russia's attack with new hypersonic missile. Now, I want to be very clear on something. A lot of people are saying that this new hypersonic missile that Russia just launched, it's no big deal. This is a big deal. This missile that they just launched, according to experts, they are saying that this can travel about 3,000 miles. That's a long ways. Not only can it travel 3,000 miles, it has some very interesting and sophisticated technology in the missile that would allow it to shoot, I believe, 6 separate missiles out of it. And those 6 separate missiles can be launched at different speeds and launched at different directions and different locations. So, according to reports, not only can the missile be launched 3,000 miles, but then the projectiles that come out of it can also be launched another 1,000 miles, according to reports. That is a massive piece of equipment that could really do some damage. Now, I want to read this to you. It says NATO and Ukraine will hold emergency talks Tuesday after Russia attacked a central city with an experimental hypersonic ballistic missile that escalated the nearly 33-month-old war. Now, they are going to have an emergency talk on Tuesday. Today's Friday. So we got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. We got 4 days. 4 days for things to happen. Just listen to what the Prime Minister of Poland had to say. He says the conflict is entering a decisive phase, taking on very dramatic dimensions. Yeah, it's turning into a global war. This is not just a small conflict. But, and as I've talked about earlier on today, in the video I did just this afternoon, I said that the United States has an issue. One of their issues is that President-elect Donald Trump is trying to end this war. But by ending this war, or by the Biden administration trying to increase tensions with Russia, there may be a need for the United States to send military personnel to the area. If we do that, here's the problem. We also have a need and pretty much a mandate from Donald Trump that once he is elected, or once he is inaugurated on January 20th, 2025, which is in less than 2 months, once he's inaugurated on day one, he is going to implement some massive changes. One of those being that he is going to pretty much enact a mass deportation event. That's what he's going to put together. But in doing so, he's going to need the help of U.S. military. Well, if we send all our military overseas, who's going to conduct that mass deportation event here in the United States? Another problem, look at this. A migrant caravan is leading to increased activity at the southern border. Just the other day, we learned that there's a new migrant caravan of thousands and thousands of people coming up from the southern border. Well, guess what? They're getting close, and this has many people worried. Also, it's not just a U.S. problem. Look at this. Canada is pivoting. From diversity is our strength. Now, Trudeau is locking down the border, fearing a migrant influx because of what the United States is currently doing. Yeah, there are problems. It's not just here in the United States. It's not just in Mexico. It's not just in Canada. It's over across the world. But every decision that happens, every decision that's made, every situation is going to impact us right here on U.S. soil, which is why experts believe it's just a matter of time before we see these holiday threats turn into a real situation, which unfortunately could take the lives of people here in the U.S. So we'll see what happens. The only thing I can tell you right now is just stay safe, be vigilant. If you see something, say something. Now, that is what we know as of today. Again, the one thing I can promise you is I will be here every step of the way and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing and I'll see you guys on the next one.